What's up guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode of Dave In Deutschland. And today I wanted to talk to you about some of the differences involved in studying abroad in a foreign country specifically in comparison to the UK. It was and still is quite a surprise to me how different the systems can actually be, and hopefully by sharing these differences I hope to prevent any nasty shocks that you might have should you be planning on making a visit to a foreign university. So starting with accommodation, I would say in general that in the UK flats and apartments are much more furnished than they are here in Germany, where things can be a little bit basic. So for example, I didn't even get curtains when I arrived here, which in the UK is kind of a given when you rent a flat or apartment. So yeah, just be prepared to bring a few more extra things to make things feel more homely. But looking on the bright side, I think I'm paying about 2.5 times less this year than I was last year, so there are definitely advantages to student accommodation in Germany, but just don't go expecting wireless internet. So when it comes down to university, again things are a little bit more basic. However, there are some signs of modernisation, albeit still at a slower rate than in the UK. Chalkboards still pretty much dominate throughout the university. However, in some of the large lecture theatres you do start getting the projectors for PowerPoints and such, but oddly still no whiteboards, which I find pretty strange. This means that PowerPoints aren't quite so prevalent in use as back in the UK, where lectures nowadays are almost 100% PowerPoint. The chalkboards still get used quite a bit, especially during maths, where you can go through bits step by step, and I actually prefer that because it's more engaging than going through it on PowerPoint. So yeah, it just goes to show that having everything computerized isn't always advantageous as it might seem. Where it is a massive plus, however, is on an online portal, which the lack of consistency in use here at the university has been a little bit troublesome. They've got one like most universities back in the UK, however it's very disorganised in the fact that not all of the departments use it. Sometimes you have to go on the website, which in itself is an absolute mess, so that has been really frustrating to try and get around. And annoyingly, the foundation is there, it just needs framework and like telling people how to use it. But yeah, that came as quite a shock this year in that it's a lot harder to access work online. The nightlife here is also rather different in that each block of halls has its own student club, so to say. However, I don't think we'd really associate them with a club back in the UK. Those you can find in the centre of town, you know, the non-university associated ones. But yeah, the system here is rather confusing in that I haven't really worked out where to go yet, and as such haven't been on a night out in Dresden. Yeah, and also the student union only seem to do like nights once a week, as opposed to back in Sheffield where we've at least got 5, I think there are even 6, so yeah, it's a little bit confusing here in Germany, so I'm looking forward to working that out a little bit more in summer. I think this is also due to the drinking culture here in Germany, which is a little bit more tame than back in the UK. The Germans only like to get tipsy on a night out, as it were, and for a Brit this is a little bit weird, who like to get a little bit more drunk. Yeah, so a little bit weird, but I guess that's just the culture here in Germany. And so yeah, those are some of the main differences in student life when it comes to studying here in Germany in comparison to the UK. So if you plan on visiting a foreign university, just be prepared that things may not be as you expect them to be. Something I also wanted to add is, if you've got a question specifically about living in a foreign country, so working or studying, as it were, drop them in the comments section below and I'll be sure to answer them in next Monday's video. But other than that guys, this has been David, aka The Special Dave. Until next Monday. So next up with the fat stat, Rittersport comes in with 32 grams of fat versus Milka's 29.5. So once again, Milka is proving the weight loss solution out of these two chocolates. Moving on to everybody's favourite stat, yes that's right, carbohydrates. Rittersport weighs in with 55 grams of carbs, whereas Milka weighs in with 58.5. So if you're looking to avoid the carbs, Rittersport's your winner. The nightlife here is also rather different in that you can almost find a student club in... Oh god, I really need to read my notes.